Hi, welcome back to part 2 of a 2-part title talk. Today is about writing powerful addendums, which is part 2 to writing persuasive copy when you're negotiating. Hi, I'm Jim Brown. I'm an attorney at New Path Title and James Brown Law. And today is part 2 of our 2-part topic. And the first part we talked about how to write persuasive copy. When two realtors can't see eye to eye on an issue, we use a tool called IRAC. You can watch that first video. Super easy to understand. If you master that tool, you will have an unfair advantage in the negotiation world on any real estate transaction. It helped me so much in law school. I got the book award. It can help you in everyday transactions to no end. Today we're talking about, though, however, you've got that negotiation done, you've narrowed the realtor onto your topic, you've beat him over the head on the law or the contract provision, and now you've got to write an addendum over it. And the addendum is super important. There's an acronym, it's going to be in the outline, it's called PET-DUC. And PET-DUC stands for, P is for price. Make sure there is a specific value in your addendum. Very important. E is for event. The event must be specific, that everybody can look at and identify. And E is kind of like also the trigger date, but that's the date that the event has to happen by. So you got to have a price, an event, and you want to have a definitive date that it's all got to happen by. DUC, don't say too much. Keep it to the bare minimum. Don't get carried away in assigning blame or writing more than you need to write. If it's simply the seller's going to give a credit of a certain value, that's all you have to say. You don't even have to say what it's for. I've seen realtors elaborate too much and then the transaction doesn't close and litigation ensues, and I've actually seen the attorney for the other side seize on the flowery addendum language, and then the buyer sues the buyer's agent because they wrote too much. Use defined terms. So use the defined terms in the contract. In the contract, there's capitalized terms, closing date, loan approval period, effective date. In your addendum, use those defined terms. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people talk to collateral sales and contract sales, and in the addendum, you don't know whether they're talking about the contingent sale, collateral sale, or the contract sale. Collateral dates don't change. So if you change your inspection period, your loan approval period, and your closing date don't change. I'm only telling you this, I know you guys are great agents, but you have to also consider the other agent you're dealing with. Maybe they're not as sophisticated as you, and I saw one the other day where they changed the loan approval date, and the good agent knew that the closing date didn't change, but the loan approval date ended the day before the closing date, and so they assumed that the closing date ended, and so there was a big discussion about that. Know your contract. Read your contract 3 times. Then once a month, read it every month. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen realtors draft addendums for provisions that are already in the contract, and in the addendum, they've taken away their client's rights because what they wrote was so much narrower than the broad provisions provided in the contract. Again, don't tell a long factual story. 4 corners rule, your addendum has to spell out everything that you want to get across. If you have to refer to a conversation or you have to have knowledge of a certain other transaction before the addendum makes sense, it's not a well-written addendum. Lastly, use addendums for everything. Make sure you paper over anything like a different effective date or anything. Very important. Sorry I ran a little long, you guys. Try to always keep it to 3 minutes. Welcome to another episode of Title Talk. Welcome back to another episode of Title Talk. Next week, let's do that last little thing again. I look forward to seeing you guys next week for another Title Talk where we'll drop some more realtor tips to help you guys be the best, most productive agent you can be.